Hey sports fans, the playoffs are finally here and Game 1 between the Spurs and Warriors had a lot going on. Steve Kerr had a surprise alteration to his starting lineup, going with Andre Iguodala in the backcourt, who hadn't played the final 6 games of the regular season, and JaVale McGee at center. Playing without Kawhi Leonard, the Spurs were hoping they could take advantage of a Warriors lineup that was also missing their superstar, Steph Curry. The game itself was a bit ragged as both teams seemed out of sync early, and the surprise storyline wasn't Andre Iguodala starting the game at guard, it was JaVale McGee dominating during his starters' minutes. He created problems rolling to the hoop, bringing Aldridge out to the three-point line, worried about KD, and with only Danny Green back on Draymond Green, there was no way they were stopping this. And JaVale brought the energy on defense too. Check the pressure he puts on Aldridge in the post, moving his feet, not fouling, and another adjustment. Having KD on Green allows him to be aggressive with help, knowing he can recover with his long arms, ultimately forcing the 24-second violation. If they can continue to get this kind of effort to close out on the pick and pops, this series will be a sweep. The Spurs try to pick and roll Aldridge down to the post, but LMA seemed unsure of what to do against JaVale's length, and this triple pump fake did nothing for him except have the shot sent back from whence it came. And no doubt this encouragement by the bench was helping JaVale stay tightly focused. JaVale's size is a real problem for the Spurs, and because he's so mobile, he can sprint to the rim and somehow get this ball tipped back in the hoop with little resistance. The Spurs don't have a versatile enough lineup to switch a lot of screens, yet watch how easy it is to set a simple pin down by KD, get Patty Mills on him, and then it's mouse in the house time. Inexplicably, the Spurs defense didn't double, and it's an easy deuce. Draymond Green seemed out of sync for almost the whole first half, just a half step behind. And here's a good example where he slips the pin down. The Spurs completely blow the coverage by doubling Clay, but he isn't looking for the pass and misses the close shot because of it. Without question, defending this pin down screen kept Coach Popovich up all night last night. The Spurs continue to switch this, but get caught way out of position. Green is 2 steps too slow and needed to be inside of Draymond before the switch. That said, I'm not sure it would matter on a play like this. Draymond is just too big and too strong, and a reason why Pop has this adjustment coming up for Game 2.
So we'll have Danny grow 4 or 5 inches by Monday night. Tell him to jump higher and move quicker.
Clay was on fire the entire game, so it's understandable that he'd take a lot of focus on his constant cutting. But there's no excuse for this lack of communication as 2 players again go with Clay, leaving Livingston open to dunk over a laterally challenged Pau Gasol. The Spurs actually had a similar slip of their own, but because they're always trying to get Aldridge in the post, there's no spacing for Gay to keep cutting. Clay is pressuring Mills well and they miss him. And this leads to another good defensive play by JaVale, who didn't need help at all down low versus LMA here. We've seen Aldridge dominate a series in the past in Portland, and it's these kind of shots that remind us how he did it, but he was only 5 for 12 for 14 points. The one bright spot for the Spurs was Manu Ginobili, who instantly got them going with a series of plays late in the first quarter to prevent the blowout from happening even earlier. Within seconds of checking in, he took a charge from Durant on a surefire 2 points. Then a few seconds later, he was spotting up on the wing for a 3 in KD's face. And check the aggressive rotation to just rip Looney off the ball, calmly bringing it up as the clock ticked down, and sink the open 3 as the first quarter buzzer sounded. The Warriors' defense, which had sunk to 11th in defensive rating this year, needed only the lights of the playoffs to find their spark. Watch how Draymond moves to double the post. The backline forms an L in unison. Iggy passes the cutter off to Draymond, then rotates to Parker. Kevin Durant perfectly keeps Gay out of the lane, and Iguodala deflects the pass out of bounds. Perfect. More great D as KD steps up to prevent Mills from driving. Great switch and denial of Manu by Cook. Another switch on the perimeter gets an advantage of the Spurs down low, but watch Looney's length and pressure bother Danny Green. KD is there right on time to help, and Iggy finishes it off with the clean strip of Pau's shot. This defense led to a number of runouts, and while many of their fast breaks were out of sync, including this one, the final result was a microcosm of the entire game, as Looney rips it out of Powell's hands and puts the ball back in. More great rotations as the Spurs kept trying to find a pick-and-roll combo with Aldridge that worked. But Iguodala pounces on the pass to LMA, watch how the weak side forms their perfect L zone around the double, and Aldridge has nothing left but to take a crazy tough turnaround. Putting KD on Green was an inspired move by Steve Kerr, and it clearly has the Spurs flustered. He can't even make a post entry against KD's length, and once he dribbles it more than twice, it's over. And the Warriors are off to the races. But one thing Danny Green is amazing at is transition defense, and these guys kept fighting no matter the score. Great strip at the basket, and here comes the Spurs in the attack. But the Warriors not only met the Spurs' intensity, they exceeded it. And at times it seemed like they had 6 defenders out there thwarting everything the Spurs tried to do. With role players like Kevon Looney coming in and making defensive plays like this, it sparked their fast break, and Klay Thompson went 11 for 13 from the field on shots like this, where he could sprint to the three-point line waiting for the pass and splash open shots that just broke the Spurs back. The fast break will continue to kill the Spurs unless they make more shots, particularly in instances when Patty Mills tries to cross over KD on a pick and roll and shoot shots like these. If they don't fall, the possession will be over right quick. And to get a sense of how hot Klay was, check this make from the mid-range. His feet are backwards with his left foot farther forwards. He's got Green in his face. He has to rotate in the air for alignment, doesn't get a great spring off the ground, and yet this is as clean a make as you can possibly get. Straight down through the hoop as a pristine swish. By the fourth, the Warriors got their staple, the low post split with Livingston screening for Klay. They try to switch this, and Forbes is a step behind on the recognition and is too small anyway to bother Klay, who drops into this open shot and another ball tickles the twine. I think the Warriors also discovered something they can exploit in the Spurs defense, setting a pin down for Klay with whomever Powell is guarding. He simply won't step out very far, isn't mobile enough anyway to do it, and Klay should get plenty of open shots. So there you have it, sports fans. This series won't last too long, and a lot has to do with the absence of Kawhi Leonard, unfortunately. But the Warriors aren't complaining, since they're short their superstar as well. Stay tuned, lots more coming up as I'll continue to break down almost every game in the playoffs. You in?
What are you waiting for?